Hi YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer, Evelyn. So today we're going to go back to the Korean drama series, The Extraordinary Attorney Woo, and we're going to cover the most pivotal episodes from 7 to 8 and also looking a little bit from 9 to 10. For any spoilers, please see the other video that I did recording the first couple of episodes of the series. You can also find the series on Netflix. So just a quick recap, Woo Young-woo is a 27-year-old female attorney with a genius IQ, and she has autism, more specifically Asperger's. So from episode 7 to 8, Woo Young has to reconcile with the fact that she may have gotten the job from Hambada due to her father's connection with the boss, and she decides that she wants to move to a different law firm and be her own person and rent her own place. However, the father was forced to reveal to his daughter that she can't move to the other law firm of Taesu because the CEO or the daughter of the founder of Taesu is Woo Young-woo's mother. The father confesses midway when she's packing a suitcase with clothes to stay in her best friend's house, and when he's first forced to confront that, unfortunately, Woo Young-woo doesn't take the news well, and it's true, she just shuts down and she ends up falling down the flight of stairs, and I'm like thinking, oh my god, is she gonna be okay? And then we get a bedside confession when Woo Young-woo wakes up in a hospital bed. Thank god that we only find out that she's severely bruised. The father has to tell Woo Young a real origin story. Now, apparently the father fell in love with Tae-su-min. Things happened, they were young, and Tae-su-min got pregnant, but however the father said that she changed. We can apply due to political reasons that Woo Young-woo's family didn't come from, a rich background, that Woo Young-woo's father was the son of a farmer. So therefore the incompatibility between Tae-su-min and dad was just not there. And also we see in the flashbacks that Tae-su-min, we have no idea why, she became extremely cruel. Now the crux of the flashbacks is Woo Young-woo's father begs Tae-su-min to allow her to keep the child, that he'll disappear with the child, that she doesn't need to worry that Woo Young-woo's father will make any problems to her. Somehow Tae-su-min agreed to this. Now, a lot of people at the end of episode 10, including me, I'll jump forward a little bit, didn't like the way the mother acted afterwards of confronting the father about their daughter. But however, if she really didn't want the child or thought of it as a hindrance, she could have just had the abortion. For her to go through all that trouble, Tae-su-min pretending that she's off studying in America and to actively give birth to the daughter and then give it away, I don't know whether it was religious beliefs or abortion being bad, or whether she was giving a piece of herself to Woo Young-woo's father. And there has to be some sort of love connection there, some sort of deeper meaning. Woo Young-woo wakes up from the bed and then she's having the conversation with her father. Woo Young-woo reveals to her father she knew all along that her mother wasn't dead, that she abandoned him, and Woo Young-woo's father's like, how did you know? And then she says that, Woo Young-woo's mother went and revealed that fact when she was drunk. So step forward, Woo Young comes to the realization that she can't move to Tae-su-min's law firm for obvious reasons. And at the end of episode 8 was a big twist. I legitimately thought myself that Tae-su-min knew that Woo Young-woo was her daughter all along because there was that interest. But when Woo Young-woo goes and talks to Tae-su-min, Tae-su-min thinks that she's managed to convince Woo Young-woo to join the law firm. But the fact, Woo Young-woo gets Tae-su-min to speak to her one-to-one, and then she asks the people to question whether she doesn't recognize, if Tae-su-min doesn't recognize Woo Young-woo, and she says no. And then Woo Young-woo goes and reveals and says that she's the daughter of the father's name, Woo Kwang-ho. And then we see this dramatic face change from the actress. At that moment I was thinking, really great acting from the actress that plays Tae-su-min, which her name is Jin-kyung. The actress that plays Tae-su-min, Jin-kyung. What a great, first time me seeing this actress in this particular Korean drama, but the way her face changes with the horror that the daughter that she gave up, but basically, abandoned, because it's not exactly Tae-su-min gave Woo Young-woo's father financial help for the years he was raising her. And then all of a sudden, Woo Young-woo goes and says very carefully that she only just learned recently that Tae Soo-min was her mother, and she doesn't find it to be appropriate to move there because she said her original intention, she wanted to be independent, move away from her father, but with the realization that Tae Soo-min's the mother, and she restates the fact that Tae Soo-min abandoned her, that she could no longer work for her. And the mother's face is like in complete shock. You almost feel sorry for her. You see like it's through Tae Soo-min, maybe there's a shadow of regret of what she did. And of course in the episode, Eun-bin receives a message about the town they were helping to save. Everything went okay, that that big tree from episode 7 became a monument, like a natural monument that shouldn't be interfered with. And Tae Soo-min says the question that she musters up, and then she asks Eun whether she resents her, whether Eun resents her. And then we see, of course, Eun, this is like she's not crying at it, because of course with autism there's that thing of having trouble dealing with emotions, but the actress Park Eun-bin, she expresses everything in the eyes. When she's happy, it's all in the eyes. When she's incredibly sad, it's all in the eyes. And that incredible strength that Park Eun-bin has to hold back that. You can see that Eun wants to cry out, doesn't know how to express the feelings, but instead of saying, you would think in different situations that the abandoned daughter would say, yeah, I do resent you, which would be completely understandable. She says instead that she enjoyed the time that Tae Soo-min and her spent standing under the big tree from what we saw in episode 7 in the big town. And that kind of hits to Tae Soo-min in a different way, that there is no resentment. Well, she didn't think about the resentment. She just thought about the brief moment she spent with her mom, which she didn't know at the time, her mother. And that kind of almost breaks Tae Soo-min a little bit more. And then Eun kind of says on the verge of tears, like holding back, like it's kind of like seeing, Bambi, those eyes. That she goes to tell Tae Soo-min that she wanted to meet her just once, and that she thanks Tae Soo-min for the offer and gives her a bow. And that to me is like, wow, just despite of everything. I don't care if it's traits of the autism. No, it's just, to me, it's that level of being able, like Eun was able to decipher, what's the best situation here, despite her father being overprotective. Her father was overprotective for a reason. So I'm gonna insert the clip, actually I probably already have, of that confrontation of the end scene where Eun reveals to Tae Soo-min the fact that he's the daughter of Kwon-ho, and the way her face, that realization, to me, I rewatched that scene at least many times because of that incredible acting. But then jump forward from episode 9 to 10, episode 9 is about this Pied Piper type of character that changes his name for a funny name. To me, that episode seemed a little bit creepy, but I can understand the message they were going about the education system in Korea, that is too regimented, too strict, not allowing children to enjoy their childhood. But at the same time, Eun was trying to figure out what's Lee Jung-woo's feelings towards her, because she's already confessed, and by episode 9 she confesses again, because when she gets advice from her friends, the guy who works in the sushi place and her other friend, they said, oh, why don't you be nice to jun-ho and confuse him, which inadvertently she does all the characteristics they say quote-unquote Mel would do, pulling out the seat, opening up the car door, offering things, and it confuses jun-ho, and he straight up asks her, did I do something wrong? Why are you being this nice? And then she says, I'm being kind because I like you, and then she runs off. In episode 9, jun-ho is like that moment, that critical moment. If you really like her and potential to be, full on, would be able to love her, he needs to decide then and there, because he as well is giving mixed messages. That infamous scene of him trying to pluck that loose eyelash from her cheek, and we can see the kind of almost quote-unquote sexual tension. And then by the end of episode 9, the person that he relies on the most of Kwon Min-yu, that's another character. Kwon Min-yu, the guy that has it out for Eun, we see that he gets advice from him when, of course, jun-ho doesn't tell Kwon Min-yu who's the person he likes. And by the end of episode 9, jun-ho finally confesses to Eun in that moment of complete freedom. Because jun-ho, everybody says he's a nice guy, but I think it's more than that. I have a theory that was it Kwon Min-woo? That Kwon Min-woo, the other guy working with Woo Young-woo and the other guy in the law firm, I think he's Woo Young-woo's half brother. Because why is he so desperate to succeed that while everybody else is not really doing any sort of games? And Tae Soo-min's son was never revealed, and he did say that, and in an interview, Tae Soo-min did say that she's not forcing her son to do anything, that he hasn't really got a goal, but he spends most of the time in front of a computer, in which we see in the other scene, Kwon Min-woo goes and posts that anonymous message on their Hanbada's law firm about the unethical practices. So I think he's the half-brother. And of course, the journalist guy that we saw in the other episode that was brought in by Hanbada to cover the case of the town, he goes and asks Kwon Min-woo about the rumor, and Kwon Min-woo had no idea whatsoever, but Kwon Min-woo is coming off as a big weasel. But on episode 10, when Kwon Min-woo goes and asks one of his old classmates or like higher level, something like that, about the rumor of Tae Soo-min, this kind of guy kind of inadvertently kind of confirms the fact, and then we see a kind of a shocked face in Kwon Min-woo's face. And I'm intrigued for today's episode 11 if they're going to reveal more of those facts. Jumping forward, in episode 10, we find out that after when Lee Jong-woo confesses to her, she runs off because she has no idea to react. Even I would be like, okay, what do you do from there? Because both Lee Jong-woo and Woo Young, they kind of say the same message. Like, okay, we go and say we like each other, but what do we do after? You know, there's a big question mark. Woo Young-woo in episode 10 goes and asks Lee Jong-woo whether he still likes her, and we have that sweet moment when Lee Jong-woo is kind of like looking at her, trying to pretend to be a little bit hurt, like at the amount of time she's run off. But at the moment when she apologizes for those moments, he's like, he can't hold it back. It's like he looks at Woo Young-woo as a precious little rabbit, or the most rarest jewel that you just like, something so rare and cute that you just can't be angry at it. And then in the episode 10, we explore what is the boundaries of the relationship that Lee Jong-woo and Woo Young-woo can have. Because of course with her autism, physical contact is very difficult, social cues and things. And then we see that infamous scene where Woo Young-woo asks Lee Jong-woo whether he would be okay holding her hand for like 57 seconds, in which he says whether it would be okay, that she would feel okay to do that. And of course, that goes for telling me Woo Young-woo, she's willing to go past her, the boundaries that she has, with how uncomfortable it is, and also the whole aspect, because episode 10 hits home. Episode 10 was more like a mirror for Woo Young-woo's relationship with Lee Jong-woo, about whether a normal person can have a relationship with somebody with a discapacity. And of course, we have to see at what levels discapacity can be as a relationship, not seen as some guy manipulating a vulnerable woman. And of course, in episode 10 is really the crux when Lee Jong-woo and Woo Young-woo are like walking together, having one of their dates or walking, that Lee Jong-woo's old friends come by, that woman from where Lee Jong-woo met again, like an old, college mate. She goes in and appears there, and of course there's that kind of awkward interaction, and Lee Jong-woo goes and tells his friends that he's on a date, in which all his friends look obviously confused, and the implication as why is Lee Jong-woo dating somebody that obviously has a discapacity or disability, not obviously, but just very awkward. And in episode 10 it's prominent because Lee Jong-woo is coming to the realization it's gonna be hard work being in a relationship with Woo Young-woo, and he's gonna have to really guide her in certain aspects. But then again, Woo Young-woo, but despite her difficulties, she's game on to be in a relationship with him, and she wants to develop and grow. And of course we have the famous cute, now famous for everybody that loves this show, including me, at the end where Lee Jong-woo tells Woo Young-woo that despite how difficult it could be, he wants to continue to be in the relationship with her, in which Lee Jong-woo wants to kiss Woo Young-woo. In the hallway, the light goes out, one of those sensor lights, but when it turns back on, she gets startled a little bit. And what this moment was like a class acting, like a master class in act. Lee Jong-woo steps back, and Woo Young-woo is like is the one, you know, to make that decision to go and kiss him. And of course we have those funny bits where Woo Young-woo stops the kissing and asks Lee Jung-un whether she's kissing correctly, in which I read in the interviews that the actor was very nervous for that scene, but Park Eun-bin apparently led that scene, you know, very well. Now, I'm not going to focus on that bit of the kiss scene. It's more what happens at the end of episode 10. Because at the end of episode 9, Tae Soo-min goes into Woo Young-woo's father's kimbap shop, and then of course Woo Young-woo's father is shocked to see his ex-girlfriend and quote-unquote baby mama there. And then at the end of episode 10, we get revealed what was the real conversation. And let me tell you, what a drastic turnaround that the mother has. She comes off as, again, cold and calculating with the father. And you can almost see the mother reverting back to at the time that she was, you know, a young 20-something pregnant. She basically tells Woo Young-woo's father that she can provide all the facilities for Woo Young-woo to go to one of their branches in Boston, America, to carry on being a lawyer. To me, it's a little bit unrealistic. If Woo Young-woo doesn't know English, it's going to be, you know, very taxing. And then Woo Young-woo's father is clearly saying, like, why would she? She's working for Humbutter. And then Tae Soo-min is like going with a conspiracy. Oh, you and the CEO of Humbutter are after me, aren't you? Well, the CEO, yes, but the father, no. The father's starting to realize what's the political games being played about. But the only thing that Kwon Ho, the father's name, the only thing the father has concern is to make sure his daughter can do everything that she wants to do within the possibilities that's allowed. And even if it is trying to navigate this political kind of office climate, he's willing to do it. But Tae Soo-min then goes very coldly and tells the dad, like, has she had any treatment? Is she seeing a doctor? And the dad's like, wow, what are you talking about? Of course I did all those things. And he goes off to say that, oh, in Boston there'll be more community of autism and all of that. And then she says something that's a little bit strange. And then she tells him, do you want to be looking after her for the rest of her life? And then he says, well, she's my daughter. And then he goes and tells her, you know, outrightly, who are you to come after all these years, not giving any sort of help, to tell me what to do with my own daughter? Tae Soo-min then turns almost like a snake, like a viper, and she tells Woo Young-woo's father, well, you promised me I would never see you or the child ever again, so who are you to talk about promises? And then she goes off into this weird sprout that, oh, what do you want from me? Do you want money? Do you want this? Do you want that? And then the father just had it. He goes and like throws the things that he had on this table and just tells her to get out. So that's the end of it. That's the end of, you know, from where we are at episode 10. I think personally the mom does care, because the reaction to seeing her daughter, that was, to me, is genuine. I think in a twisted sense, she wants to like help in some sort of weird way, but in another way, we can also see maybe she's trying to sweep the issue under the carpet because Tae Soo-min wants to have a position as a politician. I don't know how is it going to be, but there's two components to this series of Extraordinary Attorney Woo: the aspect of the mother, and then there's the aspect of the office romance. It's a very good series. Each episode talks, has different cases that really makes you think about things. Well, anyway, YouTubers, this is a very long video. I had a lot to say about, lot to cover from this point to that point. So you guys let me know, what do you think is going to be the end of this series, and if Kwang Min-yu is really the half-brother of Woo Young-woo, and how this will affect their relationship going on. Anyway, as I leave you guys, stay safe, stay true, and